All right, so we finally get the news. Joe Douglas has been relieved of his duties. The Jets GM has been released by Woody Johnson. His contract was coming to an end. At the end of this season, we had heard rumors over the weekend that Joe Douglas was already looking for real estate in Baltimore. So this is not really a surprise for anyone. I guess it's like sort of bittersweet. Like, I had so much hope for Joe Douglas, him coming from Baltimore and Philly, two really good organizations as far as, scouting, player development, all that good stuff. Ends his career with, I think it was a 30-64 record, no playoff appearances. This is, 6 years without making the playoffs. So clearly not good enough. It's very hard to justify a seventh year plus some for Joe Douglas, given the lack of success we've seen here in his tenure. And I'll be honest, I don't really think all of it is entirely on him. There's certainly his misses, obviously the Becton pick, the Zach Wilson pick. There's plenty of drafts, especially in those first 2 years where we really didn't have any guys stick. His highlight crowning jewel, the Garrett Wilson, Sauce Gardner, Breece Hall, Jermaine Johnson Hall that he got in the 2022 draft, and that can only take you just so far. Obviously, the signing of Aaron Rodgers, or the trade for Aaron Rodgers, was a last gasp effort to try and save, what could have been his Jets career here. And sadly, with the injury to Rodgers and the lack of good play, that was, not going to last very long. As far as Joe Douglas overall, I really think he's probably, as sad as it sounds, probably one of the better GMs that the Jets have seen come through the building. And I do think he's one of the better football minds that we've had in a long time, probably since Bill Parcells, realistically. And I think from that standpoint, I think it's going to be difficult to attract a head coach, attract a GM. Two ties, obviously, to Philadelphia and Baltimore. Those are some of the best recruiting areas you can get for prospective young GMs. And now we have essentially neutered ourselves because of Woody Johnson's want to play GM throughout the course of the season. I think Joe Douglas is probably known for at least a year now that he's wanted to maybe not extend his time with the Jets. I felt this started kind of back when the Rodgers trade happened. I did think Woody wanted to move on from LaFleur because he wanted to get in Hackett to get Rodgers, and then Douglas and Saleh seemed like they were willing to wait till the training camp or start of training camp to make the move for Rodgers. We wound up making it before the draft, which means we got the benefit of the schedule release and all the hype around the draft and everything. So that felt very much like a Woody move. The trade for Davante Adams very much felt like a Woody move. So look, we are, unfortunately, we can't trade an owner, and we are kind of stuck with where we're stuck at. So there's going to be a few routes people want to go. Agnew from the Lions is going to be a popular name for a lot of fans. The guy from the Chiefs, another popular name, and down by the Bucks. Names are escaping me at this current moment in time. But some interesting names to kind of keep an eye on and see where the Jets potentially go. It's going to mean a new GM, a new head coach, probably a new quarterback. I mean, unless Rodgers really wants to run it back, I'm kind of hoping he just gets so embarrassed and so depressed over the course of this tail end of the season that he just retires at the end of the year. But who knows? It's a lot of uncertainty here in Jetland. So guys, let me know your thoughts on the Joe Douglas firing. Who do you want as your next GM, and what do you think the future is for our New York Jets?